Hi, I'm Maria Lemieux, and welcome to part 4 of our 4-part series on the Lakeway Business District. I'm here today with Howard Grossman, President of Grossman Development Group, and we're here to discuss the Lakeway Commons, the much anticipated new beginning to this area. Howard, thank you for joining me today.
Glad to be here, Maria.
So, what do you want to tell us about the Lakeway Commons and how you came about being here?
Well, it's interesting that we should be sitting here today because it's almost exactly 4 years since I was introduced to the property.
Oh, wow.
And when I was introduced to the property, since I've worked in this business for over 40 years, I've worked this area previously. I knew that from a retail standpoint, it had potential.
Sure.
But when I saw the Spags property, I knew that it was probably a good site for retail and maybe other uses. However, when we dug into it, we realized how complicated this property could be. Turns out that Spags over the years had expanded its parking areas.
Yep.
But when you took a look at it from a plan standpoint and a map standpoint, it was really convoluted. It zigzagged in and out, and in order to put something together that made some logistical sense, we really needed to acquire other properties. So the first challenge was how could I square this off so that I could make some sense and put something together that's cohesive.
Sure.
Turns out there were 6 other properties that I had to acquire. Over several months we were able to do that, and that was challenge 1. Challenge 2 was we were dealing with paper streets, abandoned streets, a box culvert that ran right through the middle of the property, and trying to put that together was quite challenging. It forced us to go to town meeting with, I believe, 11 articles in April of 2014,
Okay.
and we were fortunate enough to get all approvals that we needed, and that started the ball rolling. When I was fortunate enough to get Whole Foods to commit,
Sign on,
that really gave us the impetus to form the vision that we had for the property. And the vision coincidentally coincided with what the town had been looking for, which was a larger mixed-use development, something that brought in more than retail to bring new life to this area. Spags had done so much for the town over the years, but unfortunately, then sitting vacant, it was blighted. And we were very lucky that the vision that we came up with for apartments, townhomes, and retail, along with entertainment, restaurant, directly coincided with the vision the town had pursuant to a Regional Planning Commission
That's right.
report that had been done some years previous. So with that, we got started with the approvals, the permitting in 2014, and then came along challenge number 3, which I'm sure the town is aware that we had our approvals appealed by a local person, and through 3 courts we prevailed. The unfortunate thing is that it did cost us over a year in time, but we were so fortunate because the site is so prime that all the tenants, including Whole Foods, hung in there with us. The residential developer that we're selling the property to behind us hung in there as well.
Yep.
And in June of 2016, 14 months ago, we broke ground. 14 months later, here we are.
Well, it definitely was a rapid development. Did most of your projects go along this quickly once they get started?
It really depends on zoning. It depends on the site conditions.
Okay.
Here we were fortunate that the town had created a zoning overlay district that allowed the planning board to take basically rule on all sorts of items that in different circumstances might have forced us to go to several different boards, creating not so much negative issue, but time.
Yes.
Here we were able to expedite that, though the planning board was strict with what they expected from us, we were able to oblige, and hopefully they'll see that we executed what we told them we would.
Well, there's also challenges met with being on Route 9 itself, because there's a new light going in. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? What it's like doing work on a state highway like that?
Sure. The complexity of that is that's not so much governed by the town as by the state. So we worked hand in hand with the state Department of Transportation and the town, and it was a collaboration to talk about the need, if there was one, for a new traffic signal here to accommodate the traffic that would come from the west, from Worcester, from the Quinsigamond Avenue areas. And at the end of the day, through that collaboration, they determined that there was a warrant for that, and at our expense, we had that installed, and it just became live a few weeks ago.
Okay, yeah, that's right, that's right. Well, we've all been anxiously anticipating the arrival of all these new restaurants and Whole Foods. We're here at Starbucks now. I'm sure everybody's enjoying the drive-through, a great aspect to the Starbucks in this area. But we really want to see what else is here. So do you want to take a walk around and maybe discuss about the different stores that have come in and the different retail things that we should be expecting?
I'd be happy to, Maria.
Thanks. Okay, Howard, so here we are at the far corner of Lakeway Commons. Do you want to start us off with what we're looking at right now?
Absolutely, Maria. What we have here is Massage Envy, which is a national chain, and this is obviously a massage retailer. What's unique about this case is that they're also going to be doing some focusing on therapeutic massage. For example, those people that might have an illness, possibly cancer, they found that massage can be very helpful and therapeutic to that. So it will be multifold in its purpose, and we look forward to them opening. They're obviously well under construction and should be opening within a month or so.
Okay, moving on.
This space here is leased to Scottrade. We're just waiting for their opening.
Okay, so they're in process for the fall, before the...
Should be this fall.
Okay, great. And next to Scottrade, we're coming soon.
We have a new retailer that we just signed a lease, Exit Realty, which is a local chain, part of a franchise, I believe, is consolidating a few of their locations into Lakeway Commons. The lease is signed, and we will be building out their space very shortly.
Okay, that's it. That's an interesting chain to be in here right now.
Real estate is hot.
And then the next one, this looks open. Is there something coming in here?
No, I think the construction folks are using it as a base for storing merchandise, but this is going to be VisionWorks,
okay,
which is a national eyewear chain, along with the Eye Doctor. They will be under construction shortly and opening simultaneous with the Whole Foods.
And here's Unibank, right here on this, at the corner of this block.
Yes, Unibank opened recently, and very excited to have them here. They are a regional bank doing very well and growing very fast. You can see they have a great location in the shopping center.
Yeah, and they've actually come into Shrewsbury with a lot of energy. So as we come around the corner from Unibank, at the end of this block is an establishment that's familiar to all of us, that's been relocated.
Yes, this is the relocated Tileworks. Tileworks, as people in Shrewsbury I'm sure knew, had a small location on Route 9 in the area where the back corner of Whole Foods will be, And as part of our arrangement in purchasing that particular property, we relocated Tile Works to into the shopping center. We're very happy with how it turned out, and I believe they are as well.
Oh, I know. If anybody who was in the original Tile Works and they look at the space in here now, it's definitely a little bit different than what they were used to. So here we are at the back block, the section, and starting at the end of this is Burton's Grill and Bar.
We're very pleased to say that Burton's has started and opened very strong. They did an incredible build out inside. The public seems to be accepting them with open arms. They're doing great business, especially on the weekends. You can appreciate that. Yeah. As you can see, they also built out a wonderful open outside area with a little fire pit in the middle that extends the season somewhat, and we see that patrons use it quite frequently. Again, Burton's is a regional chain that is chef-driven, not like a larger national chain, which is what we were looking for, is to have a chef-driven type restaurant. And we're very pleased with how they've started, and as we complete the rest of the shopping center, we know they'll just do better and better.
So next door to Burton's, you'll find Especially for Pets.
Yeah, Especially for Pets, again, another regional chain, is relocating their Westboro store into our shopping center and adding a few additional uses within the store that I think the public will really appreciate, along with having just pet supplies and really some of the better higher end pet supplies that a lot of people with pets are looking for today. They will have a veterinarian that is available for what I think they call veterinary light, and it won't be heavy duty. They won't be doing surgery in here, but for minor issues, they will have that. Also, right here where we're standing at this window, they will be doing a form of doggy daycare, so that, for example, if you wanted to come in and have lunch at Burton's, you didn't want to leave your pet or do some shopping, you can make arrangements and leave your small pet at Especially for Pets. They will take care of it, and you can have a guilt-free lunch or dinner, or do some shopping, and then come back and
what a cool, unique feature. That's awesome.
We think there'll be a big demand for that. There's so many pets and pet owners in the area. They'll also be doing, I believe, grooming. So it'll really be full serve pet supplies and accessory uses.
And moving on from Especially for Pets, we're at
Orange Theory. Orange Theory is a specialty fitness retailer that will be doing personal training and more personalized fitness issues for individuals, classes, and so forth. Again, it's a chain that's growing very fast around the country and very, very highly regarded. We're very fortunate to be able to get them into our shopping center. They're under construction and will be open probably sometime during the month of November of this year.
So this is a unique space in this area. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yes. When we built and made arrangements to have the 250 apartments built adjacent to the shopping center, we wanted to make it very convenient for the residents to be able to come back and forth to the shopping center, buy their groceries, stop at Starbucks, do whatever they needed to do without having to go onto the street, without having to get into their car. So we built this rampway and a sidewalk leading into the a stairway so that they could have it much more convenient. What we're also doing is creating a sort of community area here whereby assuming we have a food user in the vacancy that on the left here, we're also going to be talking about the fact that we have Qdoba under construction on the other side of this open area. Both will have outdoor seating to make it more of, again, a community area. And in addition to that, we've commissioned the electrician to install what they call catenary lighting, basically I call large string lighting,
Yeah.
that would make it more decorative and be a little bit more of a community focal point. So we think this will be an area that people will congregate.
Yeah, and get a great use out of it. Also, in case no one's heard yet, but there is music piped in all over the area.
We felt that because the buildings are separate, it would be good for connectivity to have music piped through all the exterior.
And it's a great, pleasant way to walk through, right?
Absolutely calming.
So this is the other side of the courtyard, and this is where Qdoba is going, correct?
Qdoba is going here. As you can see, there's still construction of the exterior going on here. What we're doing here is creating what's called a screen wall, which is decorative in nature, whereby on top of the steel that you see being erected here, there will be perforated metal that will shine light through and create a very interesting visual effect, a decorative effect. And signage would be installed on top of that metal perforated panel. But Qdoba, again, under construction, hoping to be open October, November timeframe.
Okay, great. And at the other end of Qdoba, are there 2 spots or 1 spot's open here?
Well, interesting enough, we set it up so that it could be 2 different spots. However, we're in deep negotiation with a particular single user that would take both of those and create 1 retail space.
That's a pretty big space in there, right?
It's a good sized space, almost 4,000 square feet. But what it also has is great frontage facing the Whole Foods and the parking area. And as you round the corner, a great window line facing the residential. So whatever use ends up here will have great exposure and visibility both to the shopping center and to the residential community.
Tenants, yeah. And we can't forget about the apartments behind us. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. We have 250 for rent apartments that are finishing the construction, hopefully by the end of the year. We actually have in the first building up along Harrington residents that have occupied units, and more every week. The building that closest to us here will include the clubhouse, and in between the 2 buildings will be a pool area. So that clubhouse area will be done hopefully this fall, and each month different of the buildings will start to be finished and eventually occupied. In addition, what you really can't see from here, possibly through the buildings, is that we sold the land behind the apartments for sale townhomes, and there are 14 townhomes that are built or to be built, and our understanding is the vast majority are sold already. So we knew there would be a good market for it, and it has proved out.
It's a great, I mean, there's a great outdoor atmosphere here. There's a lot, you know, it definitely is a living community. There's a lot, I mean, there's a lot of walkability here, you know, and there's so much here for the tenants of both the townhouses and the apartments.
That was our intent. The connectivity is the word, and activating it so that residents of the apartments, as well as the entire community, would be able to have a good walkable environment, be able to linger if they want. Residents could basically roll out of bed in the morning, walk over to Starbucks for coffee, possibly go over to Whole Foods and grab what they're going to make for dinner that night, come back from work and take advantage of the restaurants without having to get in their cars. So we think that that's important. The other thing I might mention, because it's in this area, is that we've made arrangements with the WRTA for a bus stop that will come through the shopping center and stop very quickly over at the UMass Medical facility. So that makes it very convenient for those people potentially that are working over there to not have to drive to work, to be able to rent or buy over at Lakeway Commons, and within a minute or 2 be at work without the traffic and parking.
No kidding, no kidding. What a great feature. Okay, so we're on the Harrington Ave side, next to the fire station, and we're here. There's a little bit of the urban aspect, bringing it to the suburbs. We're at Tavern in the Square. You want to talk a little bit about that, Howard?
Sure. When we were planning the shopping center, there was a topography issue where this part of the site was quite a bit higher than going down the hill when we removed the schoolhouse and down to Baker Avenue. So we came up with the idea of actually having a two-level building where each level would have its own parking field, and that worked out perfectly. We were fortunate to be able to lease to another regional restaurant chain, which I'm very much in favor of, Tavern in the Square, and they're well under construction. As a matter of fact, they should be open round about the time that this airs. So we're excited about having them. Again, they have their own parking field, very convenient off of Harrington. They are a wonderful restaurant with a sports pub type atmosphere as well, with several televisions. And as you can see over on this side, they also got approval to do a wonderful outside, you'd almost call it a semi-outside seating area, where the bar actually extends into this outside patio.
This is really cool. This is going to be a lot of fun.
So when the weather cooperates, this will be utilized quite a bit. You can also tell that the visual from here gives great exposure over toward Worcester, toward the residences, and down into the shopping center. TVs that will be showing all the different games that people can enjoy. So this will be a great addition to Lakeway Commons.
This outdoor bar is such a great feature. You don't see that much.
No. What they tell me too is that even though it appears to be wide open, they have some sort of mechanism that will be installed where screens can come down along the edge to if it starts to rain or if it's too windy, so you can still utilize it a little more than just in the very warm weather season.
Wow, great. Okay, so here we are coming down the stairs on the other side of Tavern in the Square. So we're facing Whole Foods right now.
And what we did here, Maria, is create a connectivity between the upper level, which is Tavern in the Square, and the rest of the shopping center. And it also serves a second purpose, which is Saturday night, for example, if Tavern is doing a bang-up business and the parking lot starts to get full, at the same time, the stores down below are probably closed. So this stairway gives an added parking field so that all customers can be accommodated.
So here we are at the bottom of Tavern in the Square, and then the lower level is occupied by retail space. Is that correct?
That's correct. We have 4 retail spaces that will be occupying this lower level, which is basically the ground level with the rest of Lakeway Commons.
So are these spaces occupied, Howard?
We have 2 that are leased that we'll be talking about. This first space is vacant for now, but we do have a lease out and under negotiation with a service provider that we'll be announcing very shortly. I typically like to wait until lease is signed because it's not over till it's over, as they say. But
maybe something that you can talk about at the opening event on October 21st?
Not only that, we hope that they'll actually be participating in the event and can talk for themselves.
Great.
This next space is a women's waxing salon called Lunchbox. They are under construction and will be open in the next 60 days. Again, it's a growing national chain. Adjacent to Lunchbox is a regional women's clothing chain called Jenny Boston Boutique.
Yep.
Fairly well known to the women in the area, and they're finalizing their building permits right now and be under construction very shortly, and will be opening this fall.
Okay, great. And then that leaves us one more space at the end?
One more space at the end. We are actually in letter of intent negotiation with another service provider here, and hope to be sending a lease out for negotiation in the next 20 to 30 days.
Wow, that's fabulous. So it's like, it's done. You're full, right?
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're very pleased with how it's turned out and the mix of tenants. We think this will be a great service-oriented shopping center that will provide some services that the customers and residents will appreciate.
And the community is in need of, correct?
And obviously not forgetting for a second that Whole Foods will anchor the shopping center, again, well under construction, and will be opening a little bit after the rest of the tenants, just because of how long it takes to build out this space.
I know everyone's anxiously, that's the big question around Shrewsbury. When's Whole Foods opening? When's Whole Foods opening?
We ask it as well.
Howard, I want to thank you so much for this personal tour of Lakeway Commons. On October 21st, there's the kind of soft opening event that's going to happen here. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. October 21st in the afternoon, we will be having a multifold event along with our co-sponsors, Unibank and the Corridor 9 Chamber of Commerce. And we will be having what's called a passport program. So the public welcome to come in the afternoon and get a passport from the chamber table, and then roam around, try the retailers. The retailers will stamp the passport, and at the end of the event, we will be giving away a grand prize that will be quite substantial, based on those people that got their passports. At the same time, around about 5 p.m., we will be having a ceremony that I've been looking forward to for quite a while, and that will be the unveiling of the Spags Memorial. I commissioned a sculptor to do a tribute to the Bogattis, which I felt was only fitting. Spag was an icon not only for what he did on the retail side, but what he did philanthropically for the town and the residents. So we will be unveiling that. We will have dignitaries speaking as well, the Lieutenant Governor, State Senator Mike Moore, State Rep Hannah Kane, and we will be just appreciating all that Spag did for us. Then at 6 p.m. we will be holding a private VIP event for celebrating the opening of the shopping center and the residential.
Well, that sounds great. A lot of hard work went into this, and I think we're all looking forward to reaping the benefits.
I appreciate the time. Thank you, Maria.
Thanks for joining us.